everyone, and welcome back to the Blackfoot Book Club for yet another edition of my essential film reviews collection. Welcome back. Thank you so much for being there. And without further ado, let's return to 2022 and the Charlotte Wells directed film Aftersun. Aftersun is a perplexing film to categorise or label, which is perhaps the first of many compliments heading their way to feature-length debut filmmaker Charlotte Wells. On the surface, it's a stereotypical representation of a cheap late 1990s package holiday to Turkey, with a brilliant era-inspired soundtrack including Catatonia, Blur and Deacon Blue, and of a young father and his 11-year-old daughter holidaying together away from living apart back home in Scotland. But via the medium of a video camera and jolting flash forwards into glimpses of a present time or future, we have an uncertainty to go with the unreliability of memory. And what constitutes a memory? Is the memory complete or fragmented, and is it reliant upon photographs or the video camera in the hands of a melancholic and distracted dad, or his inquisitive, effervescent daughter? Written and directed by Charlotte Wells in association with Screen Scotland, the National Lottery and the British Film Institute, the second compliment I'll pay Charlotte is her creation, if it resonates with you, will demand further rewatches, as there's a multitude of interpretations that can be laid across this strangely endearing film. I intend to rewatch again relatively soon, but wanted this immediate reaction piece to be just that, a personal instant reaction, and via the medium of my scribbled in the dark notes. The film appears in 3 blended segments: scraps of video camera footage, the unrecorded memories of the holiday itself, and the jarring leaps forward to the present day. And I certainly need to see these again, in particular, as I interpreted these jumps into frenetic dancing at a late 1990s era type rave club to be somewhat symbolic, both of the father's deteriorating mental health, as well as perhaps an early death, and a reason for the melancholic sense of loss that surrounds the film. The snippets of footage from the video camera demonstrate an obvious air of playing and acting to the camera, whilst the majority of the film jars against the memory contained within this non-human machine. This tender tale has 2 tellers, and here are your 2 storytellers. Frankie Corio is remarkable as the mischievous 11-year-old Sophie, going through the awkward motions of growing up whilst acting somewhat older than her tender years. Shy and happy within the company and reconnection bond with her eccentric dad, the freedom of the holiday around her clearly sparks a wide open look at the world around her, as well as a world she's going to rapidly grow up in. The brilliance of Corio's performance resides within her shrugs of resignation at her dad's sporadic outburst and subsequent apologies juxtaposed with the love and care shown, but brilliantly not outwardly acknowledged or displayed, for her dad's foibles, eccentricities, and the handling of his delicate mental health. It's never openly discussed, but through the smiles and excitement of being on holiday with his young daughter, Paul Mescal's performance as Callum masks the insecurities, anxieties, and the stress that he's going through. There's an unexplained cast on a broken wrist, the stress-relieving cigarette on the hotel balcony on the first night of the holiday, and particularly the Tai Chi exercises regularly employed that only seemingly deny the inevitable. What also immediately impressed me were the touches and nuances that underpinned Mescal's simmering performance, and of a father's love for his daughter, but also a distant lack of care or attention and lost in his own thoughts. I have a theory that connects this behaviour and brilliant acting portrayal with my inkling that death plays a huge part within the enveloping melancholia, but to expand upon it would just veer it into outright spoiler territory, and that's never my intention within my scribblings. I saw Aftersun through the prism of multiple levels: sadness, melancholia, the piecing together of memories, their unreliability, or the need for photographic or recorded reminders, as well as the oft-repeated assertion of a young-aged death. There are the distractions and lost thoughts of a troubled mental health. The film is loving, tender, sensual even, and with the hijinks holiday shenanigans clearly depicted, there's openly sexual undertones. Coming of age, the passage of life, and the mythologising of a loved one through the medium of the unreliability of memory, Aftersun deserves repeated viewings. And that was a film I couldn't possibly highly recommend enough, directed by Charlotte Wells, entitled Aftersun. And this is Stephen Blackford, reading and writing pointless but spoiler-free film reviews since 2012. And I leave you in peace and in solidarity. And I thank you so much for watching. Peace, everyone.